What is up, viewers, and welcome back to another video on this channel. In this one we're gonna give this brand new Mercedes CLA a full complete detail inside and out. I'm super excited to dial this car in, so sit back and enjoy this video. And as we can see, even though the car is brand new, it's got a couple of 100 miles on it already, and it's started to collect some dirt, as we can see. So definitely something to take care of. Even though the dirt mostly is superficial, we're still gonna go through the complete process of a full decontamination, because that is super important to the next following steps, and that is a polish and a ceramic coating. Huge shout out to Purest Sweden for sponsoring this video with their amazing products. So yeah, huge shout out to them. All of the products will be linked in the description. Make sure to check them out. First thing I do is to apply the tar remover, or cold degreaser as we say here in Sweden, and then an alkaline degreaser on top of everything. Then I'm gonna be using their iron remover for the wheels, and then later the paint itself. The degreasers are meant to be applied on a dry surface according to the instructions, so that's exactly what I'm doing right here. And the tar remover I'm only applying to the rear end of the car and along the sides of the car, because that is usually where the tar spots and that kind of dirt accumulates. These chemicals are pretty strong, so make sure to use some sort of breathing protection. The alkaline degreaser, which is sort of a traffic film remover, I'm just applying that to the entire car, even on the places where I applied the cold degreaser. What this pre-treatment will do is to loosen up any stubborn particles that are stuck to the paint, so that we have to rely as little as possible on the claying process, which can actually mar the paint if you didn't do a proper chemical decontamination. Once all the chemicals have been sitting for a couple of minutes, I'm covering everything in a thick blanket of snow foam. These soft detailing brushes are perfect to get access to the more intricate areas, such as the front grille, which is really beautiful on these new Mercedes, but they are a pain to get to. And then I applied the iron dissolver to the entire paintwork. And even though it's brand new, it still had some embedded iron particles that needed to be dissolved. The chemical decontamination is finally done, so we can move on with the contact wash. And I usually start with the wheels and just knock them off. This tire brush from Puris works really well. I usually go with just a dish brush, but this is actually way better because the fibers are more tightly packed, so it did a much more effective job on cleaning the tire walls. So that's probably what I'm gonna be using in the future. This microfiber wheel woolly is perfect to get into the wheel barrels. It has a rubberized shaft, which is really nice to see because some of these brushes has metal shafts, which is not that good if you accidentally bump into the spokes of the rim. I'm using their pH neutral shampoo, which does not contain any waxes or sealants, which is perfect before a polish. I like the fact that the microfiber mitt is white. That way you can easily tell if you've accidentally picked up any loose contaminants. Last step I need to do before I can go ahead and dry the car is to clay the entire paintwork. And this time I'm actually using a clay mitt instead of a clay bar that I usually go with. And one thing I really like with the clay mitt is that it enables you to cover a much bigger surface area at once, which greatly reduces the time that it takes to clay the entire car. I'm also doing all of the windows because I'm going to be applying a glass coating there. Now, since the car is almost brand new with very few miles, the engine bay is obviously going to be pretty clean already. So all I did there was to mop up all of the excess water from the wash and wipe everything down with some APC. That really brought it up to the standards I was looking for. So now it's finally fully decontaminated. The paint is silky smooth and it's ready for some minor paint corrections. So I'm just gonna drive it up the lift and then I will get right to it. It's not really until you've cleaned the car properly that you can give it a full inspection and evaluate if there is any damages to the paint, such as scratches or swirls. Now, even though the car is brand new, there were some imperfections. Now, all in all, the car was in pretty good shape, but there are some swirls here and there that we need to address. One thing I really like with the Purist is that a lot of the products that they have is produced here in Sweden, which is a huge plus for me because I really think it's important to support the local market. So big thumbs up to that. Now, my approach for this car is to spot treat the deeper scratches with either the heavy compound or the medium compound. And once all of those are fixed, I'm going to go over the entire car with the light polish, even on the panels that already look perfect, because that way I'm ensured that I have a uniform finish on the entire car and that the paintwork is fully prepared for a ceramic coating. And as I said, when all of the random deeper scratches are fixed, I'm going over the entire car with their finishing foam pad together with the light polish. To summarize the polishing compounds, I have to say I was actually pretty impressed. They performed really well, they were low dusting and provided a good finish. The only thing I can say was that with one of the polishes it was a bit hard to predict how it was breaking down as you were polishing. I think it was with the heavy compound, but that might just be my personal preference, what I'm used to in the past. I usually go with Mancerna's compounds. That's pretty much the only thing I use these days. But all in all, I have to say I was really impressed by these compounds, and I'll be happy to use them again in the future. And if anyone is thinking about buying these, I can definitely recommend you to try them out. When doing an IPA wipe down, remember that the paintwork is completely bare and stripped off, so use light pressure and a completely clean microfiber towel so you don't actually induce light scratches with the wiping itself. And of course, the glass must also be wiped clean with IPA if you're planning on coating them. And now for the crown jewel of this whole process. That is the ceramic coating. It comes neatly packaged in this small little black box. It's the first time I'm using this particular coating, so it will be really exciting to see how the user experiences. The first thing I notice is that it has a really strong chemical scent, so the breathing protection goes back on, which I can highly recommend if you're doing any sort of coating, because they usually smell very chemically strong. So if you're sensitive to that, definitely wear some breathing protection. I can't stress enough the importance of thoroughly buffing off any remnants of the ceramic coating to a high shine finish, because you don't want to leave anything behind, because if you do and forget about it, you're going to create some annoying high spots that will be pretty difficult to remove later on. So just make sure you work in good lighting, have multiple microfiber towels available, and just make sure that you buff everything very thoroughly. As far as application goes, the coating was really user-friendly. It had a very short flashing time, so there's really no need to wait any extra before you buff it off, as long as you work in the same size sections that you see me do here in the video. So just apply the coating and then pretty much wipe it off immediately. Start with the wipe off where you began to apply the coating, if that makes any sense. I've found that many coating designated for the paintwork also actually works pretty good on black plastic trim, so that's exactly what I'm testing right here, and as we're gonna see, with pretty good results. So I ended up coating all of the black plastic trim on the car as well. The next day I applied a second layer of coating to some panels just to test out how that felt. And as we're gonna see, the first layer of coating sort of repelled the second layer, You can see a hydrophobic surface right there. And that definitely made things a little bit more tricky, but the solution to that was to just keep spreading out the product with the applicator until a uniform finish was achieved. And also the buffing of the when you apply the second layer was a bit more difficult. So if I don't notice a big difference in durability between 1 and 2 layers, I'm definitely going to recommend to only apply 1 layer of this coating. And then on to the glass coating. I've tried this one before, but after speaking with the owner of Purist, he actually said that they've improved the formula. So this is their second glass coating, and I can definitely tell a big difference. It was way more easy to work with, and also they claimed that it has improved durability. Yeah, it was really easy to work with. The problem with the last one was that it was hard to see when it flashed and where you'd worked on. This one left a very visible trail behind, and the buff off was easy, and yeah, it was just very user friendly. The reason why they changed the formula was because they've gotten some customer reports and feedback. Yeah, they just changed it for the better, and it definitely improved. And I absolutely love when companies do that, when they can take constructive criticism and turn it into something better. I wasn't planning on removing the wheels nor to coat them, but I couldn't resist, and that stupid lip that Mercedes has put on some of their new rims makes it pretty much impossible to get a good clean of the barrels, so I decided to just remove the wheels, clean them really good inside, and then coat them with the same ceramic coating that I used for the paint. The very last step I like to do with the exterior is to dress the tire walls. And I'm using their matte sheen tire dressing here. They have one with high gloss as well, but I like the matte sheen on tire walls. So that's exactly what I'm using right here. As one can expect with this being a brand new car, the interior was already in a pretty clean state, so all that really was needed was a quick vacuum, wipe down of all of the surfaces, and cleaning the rubber floor mats, which are going to be replaced as we're gonna see later on. And these piano black surfaces, you really have to be careful with that, so use a absolutely clean or new microfiber towel. Prime that with some interior cleaner, or in some cases just regular water. Wipe the surfaces really carefully, flip the towel over to the dry side and buff it off really carefully. Use light pressure so you don't mar the surface, because these piano black trim pieces are super soft and sensitive. With the summer being just around the corner, last step of this detail is to replace the rubber floor mats with these set of brand new OEM AMG fabric floor mats. That's the last step done. Here are the after shots. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I sure enjoyed to detail this absolutely stunning new Mercedes. And it's always fun to work with good products. I think the ceramic coating really helped this paintwork to pop off. It created an incredible depth and gloss to the paint. And guys, if you like this video, please feel free to comment or like the video, subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, see you then, have a good one.